I'm glad to see you. Please put pluses in the chat if you can hear me well. No pluses. Yeah, I can see. Great. And while we are waiting for everyone, it would be very interesting to find out our geography. What towns are you from? Can you write? Is only Moscow here? Moscow, Moscow, Moscow. Елец, Ижевск. Great. Кострома. Казань. Great, wonderful. And it is very interesting to find out when you're going to pass your exam. This year, next year. Maybe there are teachers and parents here. Write it in the chat. Next year. Next year. Good choice. You will get all the strategies this year, brave people. Next year. And great. Okay, I think we can start. A few words about me. So, my name is Ложкина Дарья Михайловна. I'm a teacher of Institute of International Education of Moscow Pedagogical State University. A few words about my education. First, I graduated from Lomonosov Moscow State University, Faculty of Philosophy. So I'm a philosopher with a diploma. But then I graduated from the Sholokov Moscow State University for the Humanities, and I became a teacher of English. I passed TKT and TKT Young Learners with highest bands. And now I teach at the Institute of International Education. And before I start, I want to tell you a little bit about the sphere of my interest. As a philosopher, I'm interested in methodology, and I collect different types and strategies, how to pass exams and how to study foreign languages. Our faculty, the Institute of International Education, carry out a program of double diplomas with London's university, and we also focus on preparing for international exams. As a teacher, I have a motto. My motto is, don't tell me why we can't do it. Let's find out how we can achieve your goals. And I always ask another question, and how else, and how else. And there are at least 3 ways usually how to solve the problem. So I ask my students, I ask my colleagues, and I have a rather big collection of strategies how to cope with, how to keep going. So as a teacher, I always start with resources. we need resources which we can trust. There is a lot of information on the internet, and the problem is that it is not approved. So I think you hate this website, or maybe you are grateful to it, but I trust only one website. It is pp.ru. I hope you are visiting it now almost every day and you train a lot. But one section we usually don't pay attention to. It is called analytical and methodical materials. And if you go there, you will find there recommendations which are innovated each year, and after exams, experts analyze mistakes and other problems and give recommendations. So please, those who have read this section, put pluses. I want to know how many people have read this material. Those who have never visited this section, please put minuses. In the chat. You have read, great, but not many. I will show you this material. Yeah, it's very useful. A lot of pluses, Alexander. Very useful. Okay, let's get started. And let's look at what concerns task 39. So here we can read, first of all, выполнение задания 39 базового уровня сложности. It means that you don't need upper intermediate or advanced to cope with it. Good news. Also, this is very important. You can exceed the limit almost 10%. So if you have written 145 words, you don't have to bother. What else can we find here? I will zoom it. Экзаменуемые усвоили, что благодарность и ссылка на предыдущие контакты должны даваться отдельно. Обязательно должна быть в письме ссылка, надежда на будущий контакт. It means that in your introduction, there should be separate two sentences. First, thank you, and another about your contacts. What is next? 3. Where is it? It doesn't work. I don't know when it will appear. Okay. Next, about questions. We should answer the questions. Something wrong. We should answer the questions. I will try to show you with no comments. We should answer the questions like Miru, and if you are asked why, you have to explain. It's not enough to answer only no or yes, and you have to answer exactly the question as it is formulated. If you don't follow this rule, you may lose almost all the points. For example, here they give their explanation. What profession would you like to go into? Why? Экзаменуемые забывали объяснить, почему они выбрали эту профессию. Отвечая на вопрос Why do many people try to follow a healthy lifestyle? Некоторые экзаменуемые отвечали I usually follow a healthy lifestyle or I don't like to follow a healthy lifestyle, not about generally about people. Next one. About questions. You give the task, we will look at it. You are given a task and you should ask questions exactly what you see in the task. If you see yesterday was my father's birthday, there should be questions about yesterday, past simple, not present simple, and about birthday and father's birthday, not about your attitude to it. Also this one, it is very important because a lot of books contain examples and samples where you can find this phrase. Sorry, I haven't answered your letter earlier. Уже неоднократно упоминалось, что данное предложение не является ссылкой на прошлый контакт. А что является? Возможно, следующее предложение в качестве ссылки. It was good to hear from you again. I'm always glad to hear from you. I always like to read your letters. So it's safe to use again or always and will be bingo. And the most difficult point, типичная ошибка при выполнении данного задания является отсутствие логических мостиков. Everything else we can train, but these logical linking sentences you will have to create at the exam. But you can learn different types. I will tell you where you can find them. But before we start discussing these things, I want to speak with you about time management. It is very important because you will have only 20 minutes for your letter. And it is very important to follow the time limit because if you exceed it, you won't have enough time to the most difficult part of EGE, the essay. With my students, we developed some algorithm. We use such black boxes. I teach them to imagine that the whole EGE is big black box. And it contains 180 minutes. And it contains other 4 boxes. Listening, 30 minutes, reading, 30 minutes, grammar and lexics, 40 minutes, and writing. And when we train, I teach them to put all the tools, vocabulary, skills which they need in particular box and to close it and to open it only when they work with them. It helps them to concentrate. It helps them to use those skills which they need right now and right here, and not to keep in their head all other things. So we have for that only 20 minutes. It's not easy to distribute them. You have to decide. And before we discuss it, I want to give you a small piece of advice. I hope you have already bought analog watch. If you haven't, do it today, do it tomorrow. Only hands, very laconic face, maybe second hand. And since today, since tomorrow, whenever you train EGE, always use this watch. It will help you at the exam. You will be like Pavlov's dog. You will be trained. You will see this watch and you will feel time. And you, if you didn't train, you would be surprised how interesting and informative it is. When I first trained with the watch and wrote how much time I need for this, for that, I got the shock of my life. So it's very helpful, and it will be like a sign for you to concentrate, to focus. Now let's speak about these 20 minutes. Please write in chat, how do you usually divide them? For plan, for writing, for everything else. It's very interesting to see your ideas. Uh, 2 minutes for reading, 15 minutes for writing. Three minutes for checking. Okay. Okay. So, and what about the plan? No time for plan. So I usually recommend to spend 3 minutes. What do you have to plan? You have to read and to think about questions. I will explain why. 10 or 12 minutes to produce, to write the letter. Then proofread, checking 4 minutes and 45 seconds. And there you can see a gap. Can you guess what do we usually spend 15 seconds on? It would be interesting to find your answers. Please write in the chat. Pray, good, very good decision. Rest, 15 seconds. It's not easy to rest, but yes. Other ideas, count words, good idea. Checking, no, 4 minutes and 45 seconds for checking. I like the idea to pray. So the problem is when you check that you have the same picture of the letter in your head, which you have already created. When you were writing, you were thinking about it. So it's very difficult to switch from register, from the option of being a writer to being a proofreader. And my students use such a technique. We breathe in and breathe out with our nose. Also rub our hands to make them really warm. Close eyes, count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Open. And usually it helps to clean our head, like to clean this picture and to start checking with fresh eyes. Now let's discuss what to pay attention when we read, when we plan, how to use properly these 3 minutes. First of all, usually we pay attention to the name, because some students are trained to write to the same person, like Dear Peter, and they don't pay attention, and it's like a habit, and they continue doing it. Of course, questions. They can be tricky ones. For example, here, usually cook for special occasions. Do you entertain people in your family? Celebrate your family holidays at home or go to a cafe? And what is the most difficult point? The task. You see, the last sentence, my middle brother, 1 hour school tennis tournament. You can be asked about my middle brother or school tennis tournament, and you should check it. Be very careful with it, because your questions should be formulated about middle brother. Here we have another example. And here we have, yesterday my mom won a cooking competition. And here not about my mom, the question, but about cooking competition. And here we can see that the more we train, the better. Just open all resources and train to ask questions. Let's formulate the questions about the cooking competition. What are the first ones? Excuse me. To come into your head. Unfortunately, I can't see the chat. Here, can you write the questions in the chat? Where did the cooking competition take place? Yeah, good question. What else can we ask? What was the prize? Here we can see when it was. It's pay attention to the word order. Auxiliary verb comes the first. When was it? What did she cook? Here. What prize did the winner get? Good questions. Was it a professional or an amateur contest? Yeah, that's right. Good questions. So what should we pay attention to? Word order, subject questions, no auxiliary verb, general questions, auxiliary verb comes the first, and they should be about cooking competition. Also, we can train a little bit and ask questions about Nick Sports Club. I don't know, I don't see much difference between these two letters, but this particular one usually is very difficult for students, and they make a lot of mistakes. What are your ideas? What can we ask about the sports club, Nick's Sport Club? Here is the chat. What sports are presented in this club? Pay attention to the word order. What exercises do you do here? To be safe, it's better to ask what exercises are maybe shown or taught there. What kind of sport? How often do you go? No, how often do you go to the sport club? It's not about sport club, unfortunately. Yeah, how many participants are there? You have to add, are there in this sport club? Who advised you to join this club? Good question, but not about the club. How much time do you spend in the club? Also not about the club. What sport facilities are there in your club? Yeah, bingo. Where is the sports center located? Good choice. Okay, so you see, yeah, does it work? 27, 24, yeah. So this is really tricky one. Also pay attention. There are a lot of questions here, just visually, more than 3. You have to answer these ones. Do young people read as much as old people? And pay attention to as much as. You should speak about young people and old people and compare them. Do you prefer and why? And how much time do you spend? Could you help me? It's not the question. So if you want to test yourself, you can write the answer to this letter. I don't know why, but my experience shows that it is a really difficult one. Now, we have spoken already about time limit. Now, about requirements. Now we're ready to start. And this is the layout of the letter. I hope you remember that in the right upper corner, you have to write first your town, then country, then the date. Hi, Mary, dear Mary, don't forget about comma. In the first paragraph, you have to thank your friend, and you have to write, like I call it, again or always phrase, and react somehow to the whole letter. And thanks and again phrase should be separate phrases. Then my main body. Here you answer the questions. Don't forget about linking sentences. The third paragraph, you ask questions, pay attention to the word order and what you are asking about. The fourth paragraph, you have to write the phrase, why you have to stop writing, you have to explain it, and to write me soon about, hope to hear from you. You initiate the contact to continue writing each other. Then you write best wishes. I know that you train a lot, and I think you have a variety of these things like hi, Mary, dear Mary, best wishes, best regards, and everything else. Choose only one, because there is only 1 month till EGE, and now you have to produce only 1 letter, but it should be the best. So now you can train only 1 variant. And your name and no punctuation. It will be a mistake if you put. Here is my favorite book where I find linking sentences. It is rather old one, but the best one. The author is Maria Valerievna Verbitskaya, and all the sample answers are very good ones. They don't follow the format exactly, but you can find a lot of linking sentences and good ideas. And if you are at the beginning of your preparation, you can even learn by heart some of them, just to feel how to write and to enrich your vocabulary, because it is really rich here. Another book which I like to, before we come to another book, I have a list. We have written the letter, and now we have to check. I call them 11 friends of very hard student, not of ocean. You just rub your hands, close your eyes, breathe, and look at your letter and check everything, because you are in stress, and being so stressed, you can forget about something. So just do's: town, country, date, dear, hi, name, comma, name you double check, thanks, again, always, exclamation mark. It's the easiest place to put it, and you need it, at least one, not more than two in one letter. You will show your emotions and friendly style. Also reaction phrase. You answer the questions, double check it, ask the questions. You have the phrase, I have to go because my mom is calling me. Best wishes and name. You check the layout, linking sentences, then you check don'ts. No full forms, not more than 2 exclamations, and no full stop at the end. Then, how to train to check? There is a very good book, this one, Gromova, Ilyina, because you have answers at the end. And they are not the best ones. Even you can read there how to use criteria and how they were assessed. So you can see some mistakes, and you can learn how to find them. Now I give you 1 minute, please. Let's read this letter. We will look at the answer and try to find mistakes. So we will have to ask about her loss, not about suitcase, but about her loss. And it's much easier because it's very difficult to ask about a suitcase. Also pay attention that the questions are rather tricky. Have you been studying? Perfect continuous. Are you confident? Or do you always need? And here is the answer, which is given in this book. I underlined some mistakes. So what mistakes can you see? Look at and write. What did the author miss? What can we add here? If you have ideas, write in chat. Yeah, so happy to hear from you again. That's right. There is no again or always. Best wishes, no comma. Yeah, that's right. Great. To hear it, to hear that what? Yeah, it's like stop, and we need explanations. Yeah, about your loss. That's right. Some more. There are more mistakes here. I'm sorry, I need to go because, yeah, my mom is calling me. Also, can you see this? No full forms. We should use contractions. That's right. That's right. Yes. So when you read it first, it seems okay. But if you have all 11 criteria in your head, then it's easy to find them. That's why it is so important to remember them. I have a student, she even created like paper bags for each finger, and she wrote criteria and she learned them by heart and she counts them. Now, some more tips for you. Count words after each paragraph. It helps you to correct immediately, not to go back. You see how many words you have, and either you have to use some laconic words or to add a little bit. It's easier to correct immediately. Double check the word order in questions. Of course, you know everything about it. But when you are stressed, you can make mistakes. Be careful with pronouns. They and it. They're very tricky. For example, you write about gadgets and your parents. They. What do you mean? They parents or they gadget? Choose British or American. You can use both, but you have to choose only one. If you write at the beginning color without you, and in the end you write favorite with you, it will be a mistake. Double check mirroring and covering the questions. Look at your watch and breathe with your nose. Why with your nose? Because when you breathe with your mouth, you enrich with oxygen only your lungs. When you breathe with your nose, you enrich with oxygen your brain immediately. And you need it, really, 180 minutes. And there is an essay in front of you and some more resources. First of all, I hope you have already seen, but for those who haven't, this is official website of Ministry of Education, and there are video instructions where experts explain everything about each part of Unified State exam. These videos are really worth watching. You can find a lot there. This video appeared only maybe a week ago. All new materials now are published on the website, on official page of the Ministry of Education, on wiki.com, And there is such a program like an hour of education. And almost every day, experts come to this studio and they answer your questions. And if it is live, you can ask your question and maybe get your answer from an expert. So, thanks for watching. I hope it was helpful. And my strategies will work. Now, I'm ready to answer your questions. You can write it in the chat. Any questions? I'm ready to answer. No questions? How many languages do you know? Unfortunately, now I know only English. I learned French. I have learned it during 2 years, and I entered the college for lawyers, French college, and then I married, and my son appeared, and I worked only with English, and I didn't read French. And in a year, I lost my French. So train every day, at least 1 page a day. Never make such a mistake. Is it possible to see the previous parts? Do you know if they... Yes, all of them were recorded. All of them are available at YouTube channel of our department, of our faculty. And yeah, here in the chat, you can see the link. All my colleagues delivered very nice webinars, very useful. Even here is in the chat, you can find the link. You can either copy it or... Yep. Thanks a lot. Thank you very much. And don't forget to breathe. Really, my son is taking EGE this year, and he's a brave boy, but I can see how nervous he is. And when when we use watch and he writes maths or Russian, I see that he stops breathing. I even remind him, just breathe. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And you see, you don't have oxygen in your head when you don't breathe. How many points for the exam can I get to enroll? I think you have to check our website. As far as I know, there is a special calculator. Yeah, here is the answer. 275 and more. No, it isn't necessary to apologize at all, but you have to explain. You can say just, I have to go now because you don't need to write sorry. Any other questions? No questions. Okay, do I have to refer to future contacts, like write back soon? You see, it's not enough. To be safe, write back soon about what? you have to refer to his or her letter. Maybe 2 words, but in details. Is it essential to write? Yes, it is essential to write why I have to go. When you get this recording, please go to the very beginning where I spoke about criteria and showed page 24, 25 from analytical and methodical materials from PP. And you will find that there they write, it is a must. Thanks a lot. Thank you for cooperation, for coming. Now you're so nervous. Take care of yourself. Breathe. Do something nice. I have a very nice, I like lesson in New English file. What makes me feel good? It should be your motto during this month. Just make a list. What makes me feel good? You are supposed to feel good during this month, to keep energy, to produce this encouragement for yourself. Okay, no questions. I hope it was useful. I wish you good luck. Break the leg, break 2 legs. Thanks a lot. So there is last chance to ask me a question. No questions. So thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. And once more, break 2 legs. Bye-bye.